A Manifest of Imperious Destiny is the second EP from Ascendency, which is a Denmark-based band with members of many well-known groups, among them Frenolith and Alucarda. Alucarda is a little bit more obscure, but Hyperdontia and Tapos are the ones that people are going to recognize. This is more of a black metal band, a black death metal band, and one that focuses on a an imperialistic theme, which follows the rise and fall of an empire and the arrogance of that empire and how it dominates the landscape. And so this middle chapter of this trilogy that they proposed is focused on the plateau of the empire. The rise to infamy has sort of happened, and now they're just enjoying their gaze over the expansive landscape they've dominated. And in a way, it's fittingly melodic and austere black metal, which has some death metal influences still. But if you were a fan of their previous LP, Birth of an Eternal Empire, you're probably expecting a very claustrophobic recording with a death metal focus, which keeps things moving and it's a very aggressive sound. In this case, we've pushed back. We're in a landscape view, and this is a sort of a proper melodic black metal record in some sense, in terms of creating a sense of modern austerity, a grandiose feeling. And we step away from these comparisons to Demoncy and Profanatica into something that is maybe just a little bit more, for the lack of a better term, modern, still death metal influenced, still obviously coming from death metal focused songwriters and guitarists, but this style is it's a bit different than you're going to expect if you really love that last EP. And we'll get into a song right here just to make that very clear. So, from my point of view, there is a much more Scandinavian black metal presence, even more than what had been hinted on in the previous mini LP, the previous EP, and this takes us away from this USBM feeling, urgency towards a more majestic, sort of almost a Swedish feeling in some respects. And this it does well for this record. It feels very substantial at 29 minutes. These pieces are fairly long and involved, and all of them are pretty evocative of what they're singing about. So, for me, it's most interesting when the death metal sort of introduces these piece, and then they expand into their dramatics and their melodicism, which is still getting there. I think it's still evolving in their hands, and that's been the interesting thing about this band in general, and why I would recommend them is we're sort of seeing them evolve as a band as they're telling a story of an empire that rises and falls. So we're not quite to the fall yet, but their sound has distinctly changed with each short release that they put out. So not only am I interested to see where this goes next, or if this is kind of the point of definition for their sound, but it's interesting to see the warfare that led to this place was very tumultuous and immediate, and then the actual empire rising is set aback and more atmospheric. And I think it's something that, like, if you're a fan of like Sargeist or Dissection, you'll understand why some of these riffs are pretty nice to listen to. And I think the synth and the keyboards that feed into it keep it pretty interesting and give a little bit of a grandeur to the moment. There's a couple of pretty impressive songs on here out of the, I think, 4 total. So, yeah, this is just an easy recommendation for the black metal interested death metal fan, especially if you're a fan of these guys' work elsewhere and you're looking to kind of check out their taste in black metal, see how they're evolving this band. And I'm sure people who are a little bit more versed in some of the more obvious references might have other things to say about this, but I just had a good time listening to it and enjoyed it. So, well worth checking out. It'll be out tomorrow, and if you feel like checking my notes a little bit closer, go ahead and read the written review.